All right, I played some Pantera there earlier.
Yeah.
Primal Concrete Sledge.
Yeah.
So anyway, Rex Brown is back in the news.
All right.
I know you dislike Rex. I know you're not a fan.
Not a fan at all.
Yeah, that guy looks like an old crackhead. The picture of him, he looks like an old crackhead.
Well, and he acts like an asshead, so.
I mean, he's got that old gray hair and the gray beard and the raggedy ass teeth, like he's been smoking crack. He's got the black fragments of teeth just hanging in his mouth.
Right.
Just disgusting.
All right.
So anyway, former Pantera bassist Rex Brown took part in a Facebook Live.
Cool.
Did I hear that Zuckerberg is out on Facebook?
What do you mean he's out?
He's not like running Facebook anymore, or like the head of Facebook.
What?
Look it up. See if I am mistaken. I think he might have stepped down or something.
Mark Zuckerberg. No, I don't see that.
Okay, I guess I must have.
I would think that typing his name that would come up immediately.
Well, maybe I misheard that. All right, but anyway, he participated in a Facebook Live chat on Wednesday, July 5th, asked what inspired him to write his 2013 memoir, Official Truth 101 Proof, The Inside Story of Pantera. Rex said, that was just a time where someone had come to me about a book offer, and I said, was that you, Chris? Did you come to him about a book offer?
It was me. I was just chatting with my boy, Rex.
Right. I didn't really want to do one, but I had a lot of stuff, being one that really didn't ever say anything to the press, or to me, it's all about the songs, about the jam. It's not about this kind of stuff for sure, but it's just one of those things that's a necessary evil.
Yeah, I'm sure that advance didn't hurt either. Sure, when they offered him $50,000 or $100,000 or whatever to write the book, he's like, yeah, that'll be good too.
Right. He continued, it was written at the time of my life, and some of the stuff that was said in there shouldn't have been printed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, who's going to take blame for that?
Well, at least he's taking it himself, isn't he?
I don't know. It was taken off the cuff, but I think in general, that's where I was at the time. Now I have plenty more chapters to write. I'm really in a really good place now. I couldn't be happier. And it's just funny how life works sometimes. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Just amazing. I have been blessed.
Mm-hmm.
So has he had some kind of, change in, the way that he lives now, or what?
I don't know. He's doing like soft rock and shit now. Or not metal, I guess. That song that he did is pretty decent, actually. I don't know if you've heard the song or not, but...
Oh, okay. I'm getting back to the Zuckerberg. It's being pointed out to me from my intern here. Mm-hmm. It says here that Mark Zuckerberg, disgusted with social media, is set to leave Facebook later this year.
Oh, well, look at that.
He's disgusted with it.
I bet he's not disgusted with the $300 million or billion he has in the bank. Bet he's not leaving that behind.
He's on the Neely wagon. I'm disgusted with social media.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's not what it all was supposed to be, man.
This isn't how I envisioned it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be about minivans and moms at their soccer games and people taking pictures of their steaks and stuff. Now people are actually talking about Donald Trump and shit.
Yeah, man!
I hate that guy.
Fuck him!
And I'm going to censor anybody who talks about the president, too.
Not this president. He's not mine.
Right. I see our buddy Nader the other day.
Yeah.
He says, I'm in Facebook jail because of my comments supporting our president.
Well, he does go overboard.
He does, but I love Nader.
Nader's fun.
Nader's a good dude, man.
Yeah. You know that Rex book was written by one of our fans. With Rex.
Who was that?
Mark Eglinton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wrote it with Rex.
Oh, how about that?
I don't know if you knew that.
I was not aware.
And if I remember right, because of that, I interviewed Mark instead of Rex.
Yeah, that's right. And I interviewed Rex.
Yeah, I had you interview Rex, and I interviewed Mark.
Because you just don't like the guy.
I don't like Rex at all.
Why are you so difficult to get along with?
I'm not difficult to get along with.
Why are you so hard to deal with, Chris?
Well, with this fucking jizz bucket, I'll tell you why. Because him and Pantera showed up for a meet and greet fucking 5 hours late, had people chanting that they were going to riot because 3,000 people show up and fucking they don't show up on time. And then this jizzbag won't sit the fuck down to sign because he doesn't have the right Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you, assholes. Sit the fuck down. He's a cunt.
Officer Jim likes your candidness.
Very colorful.
I hate Rex. I have hated
I don't like
Rex.
him either now.
Well, good.
Officer Jim is not even a Pantera fan, but he does not like Rex now.
I don't
Good.
care. I don't care for him at all.
Good.
I have no idea who he is.
This guy is like fucking the biggest bag of dicks you could possibly be delivered to suck. He's a fucking jizzball.
In 2013 interview with the Energize with Lon Friend. Mm-hmm. Energize with Lon Friend. Our buddy Lon is doing a show called Energize.
Let's look that up.
Energize
with Lon. I don't know that I could get energized from listening to Lon.
Yeah, Lon is a weed head, man.
Yeah.
And that's not a criticism on Lon. Lon's been here in the studio live.
Don't be saying that. You got police in the house.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Might get arrested for that terrible weed.
Energize with Lon Friend.
Yeah, there it is. Energize, the Lon Friend podcast.
Holy shit.
God, I wouldn't even recognize him to say, wow. Cut his hair.
Yeah, I know.
Got a little goatee going.
Did I tell you about taking Lon to the Rainbow?
No.
I was out in L.A. and I called Lon up and I said, dude, what's up? I said, I'm in town. Can I take you to dinner? And he came out to the Rainbow and he and I had dinner together.
All right.
And, it's just like, I don't see that guy had the life in the 80s mostly, into the 90s with the Rip magazine and being, associated with Larry Flint and Hustler and Guns N' Roses and Bon Jovi and, you know, and the guy, to see him today, he's just kind of a disheveled,
Well, you know what? He apparently was like what we are now. It's that fame that didn't come with any sort of fucking paycheck. Where you're known, but you don't make dick. Only he had it much bigger because he was way more known. In the day, I mean, Lon was known from Rip, but he was always on like MTV or some of that shit.
And he did all kinds of, he always had a, cameo in all these documentaries and stuff.
Yeah. But I guess if you really want to boil it down to brass tacks, as somebody would say.
Yes.
He probably made like $200 for this appearance or $100 for this. Or, hey, man, since you're hanging out here anyway, I'll get that chick to give you a blowjob if you do 3 seconds on the film. That's what he was doing.
It's so sad because I'm looking over here to the left of me, and I literally have a stack of Rip magazines right here.
Sure.
A stack of them.
Dude, Rip should have continued on into the millennium, into this age. There should be like a Rip website doing Rip type stories with these new fag bands.
Yeah.
Lon Friend should be out there with the new fucking exclusive on Kill Switch Engage doing whatever. I mean, he should have carried on, but he just didn't for whatever reason. Maybe he didn't like the direction of the music.
I don't know the answer, but I drove Lon around here and I brought him here to the studio one day and we did a special CMS and we had Jamie St. James and Don Dokken and fuck Tommy Thayer. We had him on too.
What?
Yes. Remember Jamie St. James called in from a golf game and he and Tommy were out golfing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we had Lon here in the studio.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So the guy was here, and nice guy. I mean, I like Lon. I hung out with him here at the studio and went to dinner with him, and all kinds of stuff. But man, I felt sorry for that guy. I did.
He really has almost like Janie Lane syndrome, where shit fell apart, but he still had to work.
Sure.
So he had to work like a regular job, and probably people were like, it's Lon Friend.
Yeah.
Probably why he changed his whole appearance.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, in the 2013 interview with Energize with Lon Friend, Energize? It just gets me.
Sounds like a yoga thing.
I know. It's just like, what the hell are you doing, Lon?
Yeah, let's do some yoga. Let's energize.
Yeah.
Lon Friend.
All right, everybody. Pilates.
Get out your mats. Lay them down.
Exactly.
Downward dog.
Brown revealed that he sent his book to former Pantera singer Phil Anselmo and drummer Vinnie Paul Abbott. He said, and apparently Vinnie isn't very flattered by it.
Gee, I can't imagine why.
Yeah. Vinnie, then, he can write his own fucking book, you know.
Yeah, man.
With Philip, I haven't heard any rebuttals, but I didn't say anything in the book that wasn't really out there, you know what I'm saying?
Well, wasn't he still down in 2013, though?
I think so.
Yeah.
He added, I think the reason they haven't talked to me is because it is the fucking truth. And sometimes you don't want to tell the truth.
Yeah, pal.
And I didn't go out of my way to maliciously hurt anybody. But at the same time, if you're going to tell the truth, by God, you better be on the skinny. You better be on the skinny?
Be on the skinny. That leaves me out.
And I think Mark Eglinton, there you go, Rex's co-author, did say this thing with me. He really just he just put me down.
What?
Let me read that again. That did this thing with me. He really just he put me down. You know how you have your dreams that you had in high school when you're just in your underwear? What?
Alrighty then.
I think Rex is doing some serious smoke.
Is this a guy I don't like?
Yeah, this is the guy you don't like.
Okay, I don't like him.
I hate that guy.
Can't stand him.
That's the way I felt with this book. If you're not being completely truthful in your memoir, I think it's all a bunch of a charade. And why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I always worry about when I say things that are a bunch of a charade.
Right.
What the fuck is that? A bunch of a charade?
That's what he said.
Isn't a charade a singular thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bunch of charade.
Bunch of a charade?
Yeah. In a 2013 interview with Metal Sucks, Anselmo was asked for his opinion on Official Truth. He said, honestly, Rex's assessment of me in the book, I don't care. Egotistical, self-centered, everything is always about me. You know what? I'm a lead singer and he's a bass player.
Phil.
That's his perception, so I'm fine with it. I don't hold any fucking grudges, but I think he did take some angry swipes, and I don't need to be specific. There's a great deal of mythology when it comes to his quitting down. That particular chapter is a little disturbing.
Okay.
Anselmo commented on the fact that former Pantera drummer Vinnie Paul Abbott was at times painted in a very negative light in Rex's book.
Okay.
I'm not sure what type of beating. Let's see. I'm not sure that type of beating on Vince was necessarily, Anselmo said. Vince is a difficult guy and was always a different type of guy. Mm-hmm. He did deserve that type of beating. I don't think so. It's a shame. So he beat on him in the book.
Yeah, he beat on him.
He continued, Rex has many faults, just like anyone else, but it sure seems like he wants to put fault on other people and take away from his humanity. Yeah. We're all full of faults. Maybe it's easier for some of us to admit it.
Well, Phil may not like Rex's book, but he liked my book.
He did.
That's all I got to say.
He gave you a nice little endorsement.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my copy of that, by the way.
Well, they're on sale at Amazon there, Jim.
Nothing. Nobody rides for free here, Officer Jim.
Wow.
I will give you a book. I will absolutely give you a book.
Okay.
On page 172 of Official Truth, Brown had the following to say about Vinnie Paul. You need to understand that Vinnie is just a strange person. That's all there is to it. Did you find that personally to be the case there, Chris?
That Rex is a strange person?
No, that Vinnie is a strange person.
Not really. Vin was always nice to me. I mean, he was. We talk about this a lot. There's one guy that's like the business guy in the band, and then everybody else is like the party guys.
Right.
Well, Vince was the business guy.
Yeah, so he was more straight-laced than the others.
Yeah, I mean, he partied too. I mean, he definitely drank. God knows, I drank a few million shots with him, but yeah, he was always the one that was like, if there was business to get done or rehearsal to get to or, sound check or whatever, he was the one that was rounding everybody up to do that shit. And was always on his phone, talking to whoever, management or whatever. But strange? Nah, not really. I mean, they were all kind of weird. I mean, Philip was always fucking high. Dimebag was, you didn't know what you were going to get with Dimebag. I told the story about it. He wanted to fucking go Karate Kid with me.
Right.
Kicking each other off speakers or shooting fireworks at people or whatever. I mean, he was fucking a little odd.
Right.
Vince would party. I mean, Vince would drink and whatnot. And Rex, he was over in the corner just being a jizz bucket.
All right. So that's all there is to it, and it's either his way or the highway. I think he got most of that assholishness from his old man, because in many ways they are very much alike. Vinny was always about the party, and eat the pussy type of shit. Is that true, Chris?
He was definitely a partier.
Okay.
I know that.
To the extent that he thought he was fucking David Lee Roth.
I don't know about all that.
That's okay. And him, a drummer, can you imagine? But the truth is that he only got laid maybe 1 out of 10 times, and that's if he was lucky. So this guy was basically...
I'm not believing this. I remember reading this. Come on. Pantera was huge.
I know.
Pantera's roadies were getting fucked.
Sure.
Vinnie Paul was getting fucked if he wanted to.
Yeah, 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm not believing. I know I didn't believe it when I read it in the book, and I don't believe it anymore now.
All right. Being in the platinum selling band is meant to be a hard start when you're trying to score with chicks. But he negated that by having no idea whatsoever how to treat or approach a woman.
The guy owns a strip club.
Yeah.
He's getting pussy.
Right. He'd just walk up and immediately start groping them. So it was no surprise that his strike rate was so pitiful. His strike rate.
Strike rate.
Yeah. He acted like meeting him was a sexual audition, and that just turned them off straight away. Maybe he was auditioning to dance in his club.
Maybe. But I guarantee you, he owned a strip club. Still does.
Right.
This is not a guy that's fucking beating his dick unless he wants to.
Rex continued, and as if that isn't bad enough. When he didn't get laid 90% of the time, I asked him, why would this guy be writing this shit? How often his bandmate got laid. And why were you keeping track?
Do you grab the clipboard?
Yeah.
Oh, got denied again. Let me write that down.
Right. So he said 90% of the time I'd estimate. So he was the most miserable fucking guy on the planet. I just couldn't live with him. He'd walk in a room in the morning and I just know he'd be all snippy and pissed off with everyone. And there was nothing anyone could do to change his mood. That became really boring.
Well, all I can say, and you know this to be true, I've spent many an evening partying with the Pantera.
Yeah, that's why I keep asking you if this is true or that's true, or did you witness any of this yourself?
I never saw any of this.
Okay.
I mean, I had a lot of fun with those guys, hanging backstage, hanging, at the bus, on the bus. seeing some of the silly shit that went on and, whatever. I never saw angry. I'll be honest, all the times that I've seen Vince, interviewed Vince, met up with Vince, all of those times, and that's probably 24 times, never saw him angry.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that he wasn't angry at other times, but in the 24 times that I've met him, he's been nothing but up and ready to have fun and whatever. So I'm not buying this. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know, but I never saw it. And, dude, Vinnie Paul, and people want a story I don't think we've told on the show very often. Vinnie Paul is the reason that Randy got to sing with Pantera. Because we were all hanging out.
Didn't you go to Sadie Renee's or something?
We did, but we were hanging out before the show. It was at Rhodes Arena. It was Anthrax, Sebastian, and Pantera. And Randy and I were hanging out with Pantera and some Anthrax guys and Sebastian.
Okay.
And we were getting just fucking shit-faced. I mean, we were really getting shit-faced.
All right.
And back then, Randy actually had hair on his head.
Right.
And Vinny kept calling him David Lee.
Right.
Because Randy did kind of look like David Lee Roth.
Yeah, he definitely had a David Lee Roth thing going on there, sure.
And anytime he would call him David Lee, Randy would start doing some horrifically bad impression of David Lee Roth. He'd be like, running with the devil, yeah!
Right.
Doing this terrible vocal thing.
Sure.
So, show happens. We watch the show. Show fucking is what it is. It wasn't the best, that's for sure. But after, we were invited to go down to Sadie Renee's. And they had a Pantera tribute band, Cowboys from Hell, playing down at Sadie Renee's.
Okay.
So we get in, and it's just fucking packed. And we were standing kind of on the side of the stage. And Randy is what, 6'11" or whatever he is?
He's like 6'4" or something.
He's a big, tall guy in a room of metalheads,
right.
For sure. And
well, so wasn't he the tall blonde guy that threw Sebastian Bach the peace sign, and then Sebastian threw it right back at him? And, wasn't he that guy?
He was that guy. That's how Sebastian knew.
Right.
But no, so we were standing side stage when Vinny and Dime, like we came in with Vinny and Dime, and they went up to the stage, and then Randy and I were standing on the side stage. And I don't know if you've ever been to Sadie Renee's, but it wasn't like it was like some elaborate stage.
No, it was just a little club. It was just a club that probably held 300 people.
Yeah, and it had a stage that was right next to the door.
Sure.
So we opened the door and we came in. We were standing there, and Vinnie Paul was playing some drums, and Dimebag was playing guitar. And Vinny yelled over. He pointed his drumstick at Randy, and was like, "Get up here, David Lee!" And fucking Randy got up on stage, and then they broke into some Van Halen song.
Sure.
And then Randy sang the Van Halen song while Dimebag and Vince played with the bass player from Cowboys from Hell. And it was actually it was a fun night. And then he played like 2 other songs with it too. I was fucking mad. I was like, here, I'm just bringing Randy along for the ride, and this fucker's getting all the attention.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's how that happened, because Vince was partying.
Yeah, sure.
So he at least on that night, he wasn't being a dick that wasn't getting any pussy.
Yeah, again, I didn't know any of those guys. Never met any of them. I've seen them a few times, but I never met any of them. And, if Vince was the quote unquote the business head in the band, or was just taking care of business, while everybody's out there having a good time, he's back there making sure that they get their settlement at the end of the night, and
right,
making sure that the bills get paid, and make sure everybody get their payout and all that other shit.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, so maybe he was kind of a dick because he was probably more annoyed than them because he was dealing with the business of it. I don't know what it was that Rex is talking about. I'm just saying I literally have met these guys 24 times.
Well, that's what kind of why I wanted to do this story, because I know that you've had personal contact with them, and I just wanted to get your take on it.
When I read this in 2013, and I thought he was full of shit, and I still do. I don't believe for a minute that Vinnie Paul is some depressed fucking sitting in the corner being an old fuddy-duddy on the bus.
Right.
Buy it.
So while Vince was taking care of business and making sure Pantera collected their money and everybody got paid, Rex was out there yelling, "Co-fucking-Kane!"
Yeah, no, Rex was like, I want a grand burrito.
Yeah.
To eat this regular burrito. I wanted a grand. Fuck you. Sit down, take a Sharpie, and fucking sign something, you cunt.
Yeah.
He was a dick.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'm going to play some Pantera for you. I'm going to play something from, let me see here. I'm going to play something from The Great Southern Trendkill.
All right.
I am going to play something for Rex.
All right.
Drag the Waters, pal.
Yeah, pal.
Chris couldn't care less if you ended up somewhere that they had to drag the bottom of the lake.
If he accidentally drowned from swimming, I wouldn't be upset.
All right. Well, let's play some Pantera. We'll play a couple tunes. We'll come right back. So here it is. It's Pantera exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Hey, man, this is Rex Brown. You are listening to the Classic Metal Show. Crank it up. Yeah.